Transportation Secretary for the Commonwealth, Aubrey Lane, confronted ongoing toll problems with Elizabeth River.
Everything accelerated, and what we have now is we have Nemo Parkway actually open, and that was one of the first questions. Is it Nemo Parkway or Nemo? It's Nemo. And right here is Aubrey Lane. We're talking about another story. He met today with the ERC. He laid it down to the ERC. We've got to have timely information set out for people going through the tolls. Tell me about your meeting today.
Yes, Annie did have an opportunity to meet with the Chief Executive Officer and the Chairman of the Board. Earlier this week, they had given me a letter saying that they were going to comply with the demands in my letter. Governor McAuliffe was briefed. I let him know that we were going to be meeting this morning, and I in person delivered to them their unacceptable performance, and that they could expect that the Commonwealth of Virginia would act in its interest and the best interest of its citizens and hold them accountable to this contract.
And it's not part of the contract, and you are now having them basically sign an addendum that says if people do not get their bills for going through the tolls in 60 days, they aren't charged.
Well, there actually is a standard performance measure in the contract, and we are holding them accountable for that, and they have agreed that anything over 60 days, whether it's a billing or a transaction, if it's previous, they will write it off, and in the future, they will not bill it.
Okay, so it is part of the contract, but not specifically 60 days.
Yeah, it is. I actually think it should be much sooner than that, but that's what the contract unfortunately has. But I think a good business practice, if I were collecting my revenue, I want to get it as soon as possible.
Do they get it? Do they get the fact that they have become perhaps the most unpopular entity in Hampton Roads?
I explained to them today that their performance has caused not only issues with their credibility, but the issues on a political level because of the untrust in our population and our citizens about delivering public-private partnerships. Their performance has not been helpful in that. I believe they help us get that straight. And so in addition to their performance on their operations, they also have a responsibility for integrity with the public.
Real quick, Greg Woodsmall, he's the guy in charge of ERC. Does he get it?
I believe he gets it. But to make sure, I had the chairman of the board. I met directly with them and had him sign the letter that they would adhere to these standards. Only time will tell, but they can expect that we will be monitoring this very closely. Nothing else in the state has gotten the governor's attention or mine as important as getting this right.
Secretary of Transportation Aubrey Lane, thank you very much. That's the latest. 60 days. If you go through the tolls and you don't receive a bill in 60 days, guess what? You won't receive one because you won't have to pay. That's the latest big headline from this meeting this morning. In Virginia Beach, Andy Fox, 10 on your side.